Welcome to Historical Conquest. This is a game where you actually get to play with history and have fun doing it. Now, my name is Zach Edwards and this is my son Ethan. We're going to explain to you how to play the game Historical Conquest. Now, in this game, you don't need to know anything about history in order to play. You get to play and just have fun doing it. So to start off, each player needs a starter deck. Now, you could have Nikola Tesla, there's the Knights Templar, anything from Queen Boadicea, Peter Salem, and so forth. There's 7 different ones as of right now, and we'll be adding more as we go. Those are the larger packages. The larger packages have 50 cards in them, 51 for most of them, just because we had an extra one that we really wanted to put in there, so we did. We have smaller decks that are expansion decks. Now, there are smaller decks, and those allow to add on to your deck. So this is a deck building game where you can have your one deck and then add additional cards to make it even better. Now, the starter decks are all world history. It's not based on the Knights Templar, being this is the Knights Templar deck. Instead of that, that's just one card that's inside, but you're going to get ancient as well as modern in this one deck. Same with Nikola Tesla. It's not about scientists or that time period. It's all world history. But these ones, the large ones, are based on all world history, while the smaller ones, the expansion packs, are based on one specific time period at a time. So you have anything from, let's see, ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greeks, Vikings, and then over in the Americas we have the American Revolution, the French and Indian War, and so on and so forth. And those can be added on here. But what's really great is if you're learning it, say in school, or you really have an interest in that one time period, you can put an emphasis in there so that your deck has a lot more of that time period because you like that time period. So, just a little added bonus there. So these are the starter decks. What also you have is you have these. These are markers. So on your mats, which again, maybe I should explain the mats. These are your mats. Each player can have their own mat. The mats help you to organize your points, to keep track of your points. It also allows you to organize your cards. It's a great smooth surface, meaning it's non-scratching, it will not scratch your cards, and it also makes it so that if you spill on it because accidents happen, you throw it in the wash, just not the dryer. And yeah, so from there, you need something to mark your morale. Well, you can buy these, the Historical Conquest minis, they're mini figurines, or you can use pennies, nickels, dimes, Legos. Anything's great. But a lot of our fans wanted us to create these, so we did. Anyways, so we're going to take these out, and each of us get to pick one of our favorites. So I'm going to do Miyamoto Musashi, and Ethan is going to use Nikola Tesla. And this starts on 0 on these boards. Now, as well, you have your starter decks. Now, inside your starter decks, you're going to find certain things in here. First off, once you open it, you're going to find your 51 cards and also a rule sheet. Your rule sheet is very important. This is going to tell you everything to do with this game. At the same time, if you're watching this video, it's most likely you wanted a little bit extra, or you don't like reading rules. I don't like reading rules. So we created this rule sheet to help you play. And on the back side, it has a sample play mat. So you can see exactly where the land pile is, the draw deck. Lands go in the first row, and people go above those lands because they're occupying those lands. Now, if it's not a land, it's not a person, it goes over here in what we call the active area. These are your events, technology, knowledge, location, organizations, and documents. Those go in this area, and they affect your whole civilization. Your civilization, when it says it in the abilities or in the rules, it means your whole play mat. Everything that's actively being played. And then you also have your discard pile, which usually goes right above your land pile on your mat. So, this is great to have on the side. Fold that up. You can put it right back in your deck. Look at that. Fits nicely. All your cards fit nicely. Now, if you do put sleeves around your cards, we sell multicolored sleeves. They won't actually fit in the box. But we are starting to sell boxes that you can put those sleeved cards into. So that is just a new thing that we're about to release. Okay, now, once you get your cards out, the first thing you want to do is you want to separate all your land cards. Land cards look like this. They're green. They all have the same look to them. If they are a land card, you're going to see green over here, has the same background, basically an atlas behind it or a map behind it. For other people, like an explorer, explorers are blue. But basically the whole thing is blue. But it also shows somewhat of a map, but more of like a sky and such. Then you have musicians that has sheet music behind it, or an event that has clouds behind it, and technology. So you can look through now to find out the category, not just the look around it, but over here in that corner, in the far right-hand top corner, you're going to find out that this is a technology card, or a location card, a musician card. So all these cards have their category built into the card. Also, what's built into the card is you also have over here in the second rectangle down, the first one gives you the name and the type, the category of the card. Underneath that gives you a summary of what it is. The summary of the history of that person or place, event, and such. And then underneath that, it's usually in a lighter section. This is your abilities. Now, this is what's really important for this game. The abilities help you to strategize throughout the game. Now, the abilities are also very unique to each of the cards. Because the cards all have different histories, and the abilities are based off that history, the gameplay is always different depending on the cards. And that's one of the great things about card games, is that the game is always different. You're never playing the same game twice. And a lot of times you have to change up your strategies depending on the luck of the draw, whenever you're able to draw those cards out. So, to start off, place all of your land cards in the far corner. Usually you want to shuffle them. And then take all the rest of your cards and place that right next to them. And as you'll see from the map, you'll actually have the land pile, and then you'll have the draw deck. This is your draw deck, the larger pile. This is going to give you, starting off, the 5 cards that you need to draw in order to play the game, to start the game. Now you grab those 5 cards. In those 5 cards, you're going to find all different types of people, as we mentioned before. But one of the most important ones, actually, you know what? I'm going to go first, and then I'll let Ethan take his turn. The first thing you do is you draw 1 land card. You take that land card, you place it right next to your draw deck. It goes in the first row of your map. Then, since it's my turn, and then Ethan is going to play his land card as well, so we both get to play our land cards. One other thing to look at is that I'm in Mexico, I'm in North America. Ethan over there is in Germany, so he's in Europe. So these 2 lands cannot directly attack each other. One thing you'll find out later on is that explorers, they're essential for the game because they help you find new lands, but they also help you transport between your countries, but also your opponent's countries as well. So, here we go. To start off, I'm going to play Christopher Columbus, an explorer. I place it down just to the left of my land that I already have out, and I'm going to grab one new land from my land pile, and place that right underneath him. So I just did 1 of 3 cards I can play from my hand. So every turn you can play 3 cards from your hand. Then you can attack twice. Now you cannot attack the first 2 rounds. It's basically world peace. I can't interact with Ethan. Ethan can't interact with me. Now the reason for this is because we want to be able to have our lands established before any possible attacks. Now another thing that holds you back from attacking your opponent is actually you have to be at 800 morale points. So if you get your morale counter, or your marker, up to 800 morale points, you'll see that there's a symbol on the map that basically shows you that you are at 800 morale, and now you can start attacking. If you get to 3,000 morale, you win the game. Another way of winning the game is if I conquer all of Ethan's land, or he takes all of mine. And you'll know that Ethan loves to claim that he's beaten me at more games than I've beaten him, which may be true. I'm not sure. And I will not give him that satisfaction of agreeing it, but it might be true. Anyways, so again, either 3,000 morale points, winning the game, or taking all your opponent's land. Now, if you have 3 or 4 players, you have to take all of their lands as well. And it could be a 2-hour game. If you play for morale, a lot of times it takes you about a half hour to 45 minutes. If you play for world domination, it usually takes you 1 to 2 hours, but it could be more. we've gone a little bit further, depending on how many cards you have. A lot of times when you run out of cards in your draw pile, people are always asking, what do you do at that point? Do you end the game? Do you grab a new deck? Or do you shuffle your discard and try again? All three, whichever one you want to do. But make sure that you're in agreement with your opponent before you start the game. If I'm going to have a backup deck, then my opponent wants to have a backup deck. If we're going to do shuffling the discard pile, it means all the cards that he's already used up, a lot of them that he already really likes and wants to play them again, he's going to try to get through his deck as fast as possible. So sometimes we just say, you know what, we're done with the game. That usually takes about 45 minutes to get through the whole deck. Again, depending on how you play. One other thing to know is that when you start off, your games might take an hour. Once you get to know your deck, know your cards, it's going to be a lot faster. Because you're going to know exactly just by looking at them, oh, I remember this card has this ability, I want to play that card. If everyone has to think through their cards and read through their cards, it just takes longer. So, of course, your first few games are going to take a little bit longer. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play Washington Irving. So I'm going to play him over Mexico because no one else is there. Now, in this, it says increase your morale by 200 points. Okay, great. I got 200 points. But it also says decrease all your opponent's morale by 200 points. Well, I could wait to the third round, because the first two rounds I can't interact with him, he can't interact with me. But I don't want to, I need to free up some cards in my hand. So I played him because I need someone defending Mexico, and I'm just going to not decrease his morale this time. And because if you look at the cards, there's these symbols down here. These ones are either an I, an H, or a C. An I means you have to play the abilities immediately. Immediately you have to play those abilities or you lose them. You can't use them again. An H, like this card, means you can hold on to those abilities and use them in a future round or a future time. And then the C means you can use them constantly. It usually has to do with strength. Immediates usually have to do with morale. And holds are usually abilities that you want to use on your player, on your opponent, but you want to be able to play on the playing field before then. So this one's a hold, Cinco de Mayo. So I'm going to play that as well to get it out of my hand. And the last two I'm going to hold on. Oh, one more thing. The second symbol on here is how many times you can use the card. You can use it once, twice, or immediate, and so forth. So I've got two really good cards, but I can't play them because I've already played 3 cards. So I'm going to grab enough cards. This is going to show to Ethan that it's his turn to play. So he just played Philip de Souza, which gives you 200 morale points. So he increased his morale by 200 points. He played a technology card. Now, technology card, like Cinco de Mayo, get played in your active area. It's not played above your lands. So again, lands on the first row, people above the lands, and it's not any of those. So his technology or my event, they go up in the active area. Oh, and this one says increase your morale by 200 points. So he got another 200 points. So now he's at 400. It also says constant, increase your strength as well. So he's going to be able to use that anytime he attacks me or anytime I attack him. Now, it says strength. It did not say defense or attack. If it did, it would be only when he attacks or only when he's defending against me. Because it says strength, it's either one. Your attack strength or your defense strength. The last one he's going to play for this round is Charlie Chaplin. Now, Charlie Chaplin has a great ability. Because he's an entertainer and he loved making people happy, and after he passed away, people still were able to gain entertainment from him. This one says increase your morale by 100 every round until Chaplin is discarded. So every round.
1500 morale.
Or 1500 morale. Thank you. So every round he'll increase the morale, Charlie Chaplin will, until he's either discarded or you get up to 1500 points. At 1500 points, he stops giving you 100 morale each time. Now, if someone drops you below 1500, you can claim his abilities again, but not until then. There's a few cards in the decks similar to this. Okay, so he played his 3 cards. So, and then he picked up more cards, which means it symbolized to me that it's now my turn. So on my turn, I'm going to play Step and Fetchin, who gives me 100 morale. Not too much, but something. I'm also going to play the Invention of Ice Cream. So the Invention of Ice Cream increases my morale by 100 points every round until I hit 1,500 points. So fairly similar abilities between the two. So I'm going to go another 100 morale. So I'm not climbing very fast, but neither is he. Okay, so now I'm going to... here's another card. So I don't really want to tell him, but since we're not really playing a full game, this one is the U.S. Senate. This one says Interrupt. An interrupt is like a surprise attack. It's whenever I have this card, say he's going to attack me with an event. Oh, sorry, it's not an attack. Say he's going to play an event against me. This one says reverse any event card played against you. So he plays an event card. The abilities for that card, the effect, go on him instead of me. So if I was to lose 500 morale, he would now be losing 500 morale. Now the most fun games are when somebody else is holding on to an interrupt as well, and say I reverse it on him, he reverses it back on me. So that gets really interesting because you have a back and forth. I've got another one. I've got one more rant or such. The best game I ever played was with the atomic bomb. Now I had the atomic bomb, and there's 4 of us playing. Actually, I think I had the atomic bomb. Either way, whoever played the atomic bomb, they played the atomic bomb. They wiped out one person's land, not the land itself, but all the people in that land. Now, the next turn, I think I had this turn, I had Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla doubles the effects of any of my opponent's technology cards. So I played it on somebody and also another person. By the time it went around the table, we had a nuclear winter because everyone had used it and everyone had at least one land that was wiped out. It was great fun. At first, people were getting frustrated, but at the end, everyone was laughing because we were all taking advantage of it. Okay, so I've got another card that could affect Ethan's land, so I'm going to hold off on that. And then I've got another one that says, pull any one technology card from your deck and play it immediately. Great. So I would play that in my active area, and then I'd go through my deck. Now, in due of time, I'm not going to go through my deck, but I could grab any technology card that's in my deck and play it immediately. Let's see. Yeah, and play it immediately. Then it says reshuffle your deck, your draw deck, and discard this card afterwards. So let's just say I played it, and then I would have discarded Newton. Now, once you played your card, if it's an instant and it's in the active area, you can actually discard it into the discard pile, which is above your land pile. If it's a person and you use their ability, don't discard them. Not unless you really want to, you need to free up space, because that's what we call fodder. So if someone's attacking someone else, each time that I attack Ethan and he loses, he'd lose one person in the discard pile until he has no one else in that land. You're allowed to attack twice per turn. So I can attack him once, he loses one person. I can attack him a second time, he loses another person. Well, at that point, if he has a third person in there, he keeps his land. If he doesn't have any more cards in there, I take his land. So that third person, that person you would have discarded because you already used his ability, keep him because he helps you to keep from your opponent taking that land. Okay, now, this is the second round, so I'm going to end my turn by grabbing 3 more cards, and I'm going to turn it over to Ethan. So he just discarded Philip Sousa because he already used the ability, and I guess he has other cards he wants to play because he's allowed to play 3 cards per turn. He's going to play Jesse Owens, who gives him 200 more morale points. Yes. And then he's going to play Charlemagne, which basically, if battling in Europe, which he is, your attack or defense increases by an additional 500 points. So that's a great one to play in Europe. Okay, and you get one more. He's playing another conqueror, Eric Bloodaxe. Now, Eric Bloodaxe, during every attack, your opponent's defense decreases by 500 points until the end of that round. That's a good thing that it specifies that, because Ethan's mind, he has broken so many cards and has helped me to go through the cards and find things that have been issues with the cards. So like this card, if it didn't have that last part of until the end of the round, he would say, well, you lost 500 this round, but you lost 500 last round, and 500 the last round, I'd be like negative something strength. So That's why we had to adjust some of the cards as we were playing. So now Ethan is up to 800 morale points because he also has Charlie Chaplin, which put him over the mark. This point, the next round, he can actually attack me. So I want to defend my lands. Now, at the same time, I'm in Africa and North America, so I'm a little safe right now. But we're going to find out because now it's my turn. I have another explorer, Diego de Almagro. Now, Almagro, I'm going to place down. I'm going to grab a new land and put it right here. Ah, look at that. I'm still safe. South America. Okay. Now, from there, I'm going to play the Declaration of Independence that gives me 400 morale points. So I'm now up to 800 morale points, which means I could attack him if we were on the same land. Or I could take an explorer and attack him. Now, here's the thing. If I have an explorer and I attack him, I better have like an army to go with him because it can bring one card with it. That could be one character or that could be one army. I could bring that over to his land to attack him. But because he's fairly strong there and I have no armies, I'm not going to attack him. But I am going to play the San Francisco Earthquake against him. This one says, pick a land. Half of the characters in that land must be discarded. Round down. So I'm going to play that against his land because he has nothing to interrupt my attack or my playing an event on him. He lost 2 of his cards because he had 4 characters in there. He had to discard 2, half of them. Now, if he had 3, it says round down, so you only have to discard 1. Okay, so now he's down to two people, and I have played my 3 cards. I've got 2 very weak lands because I haven't put anyone in there. The other land is pretty darn weak too because I don't have any armies. But that's, again, the luck of the draw. You never know when you're going to draw an army or other things. So, now it is Ethan's turn. So first thing he does is play the personal PC and increases his morale by 300 points, and also it increases his strength as well. Okay, now he's up to 1,100 points. And he's going to hit me with an organization called the IRS. That's right, taxes. He puts a tax on me, and I lose how many? 300 morale points. That means I cannot attack him the next round, not unless I have something up my sleeves. And he's going to play Homer. Homer, the Greek author, myth or legend or truth, we're not quite sure. His one says, sneak into an opponent's hand. Actually, I'm going to pick this one up. Sneak into your opponent's hand and turn one of their characters to help defend your land. They may not attack any of that opponent's lands. Okay, so the card that he steals from me cannot attack my lands, but it gives them the ability of that person. So, which one are you going to steal? Yes, you're going to sneak into my hand. Luckily, I don't really have anything that good. Oh, he's loving this. Okay, so he takes one of the cards and he places it in his land, which is why he probably loved the fact that I hit him with the San Francisco Earthquake, minus the Charlie Chaplin part, that really stinks, because that freed up more land to put more people in. Wait, what about Charlie Chaplin? What happened to... Yeah. Oh, JP Morgan. That's an interrupt. Oh, you have to play it immediately, right? No, you don't. You can put it back in your hand.
That's what I was wondering.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't say it so. So because it did not say that he had to play it immediately in the Homer ability, he's keeping it in his hand. Because that's an interrupt card, which he didn't want to show me, but, I mean, again, we're not playing full game, so. We're just trying to help you learn how to play Historical Conquest. Okay. That's your cards? Okay, so he's pulled his cards. Now it's my turn. Now, I played an interrupt. Did I play an interrupt? No, I didn't. Why didn't I pick up enough cards? I probably was talking too much.
No,
okay.
I still want your cards.
Oh, that's why. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to play... let's see. I'm going to play just a few more cards, and we're going to step forward in this game. Just because we don't have the time to show you a full game, what we're going to do is I'm going to find a European land. Look at that, right there. Would have been my next one. Say I was going to attack. I'm in the UK, so I'm in the United Kingdom. Ethan is in Germany. Oh, that sounds familiar. Now, I'm going to attack him this time, though, and I'm going to count up my attack points, which is the first number on each of the character cards and the army cards. So you got attack and you have defense. The attack is closer to the middle, defense is closer to the corner. Together, I have 900 plus 500, so that's 1400, plus another 60, plus another 60. So I have 1,520 points. Versus, oh, and I get to count up anything that's in my active area that might help. Now, San Francisco earthquake was already used, so I'm going to discard that. In defense, I get another 300 with the Declaration of Independence. Well, I'm not defending, so I don't get to use that. Ice cream does not help me, and look at that, neither does Cinco de Mayo, so none of those help. So I have 1,520. You have 3,000?
Yeah.
Aw, nuts. Okay, so he counted up his defense points, the second number in his, plus the abilities, because he was in Europe, Charlemagne helped him as well. So he has 3,000 points. Because I lost, and I'm the attacker, I don't actually lose any of my characters. But I do lose 100 morale. Now, again, remember I have to be at 800 morale in order to attack him. So for this demo, I wasn't at 800 points, so I would not have attacked him. But for this demo, I lost 100 morale. Now, if Ethan lost, because he's the defender, he would lose 100 morale and also one person. So no matter who loses, either of us lose 100 morale. But only the defender, if he loses, would lose 100 or would lose one of his characters. So in the end, let's just say I attacked him. He only had two people in there. He would lose one person. If I attacked again, he would lose the last person. And if there was no one left in that land, I would take his land, put it in my land, and I would continue going using that land. Now, here's the thing. If he only had one land, which he has right now, and I took all the people out of there, and I took that land from him, he has no lands, game over. I would win. Yeah, no, you're thinking, if we did a longer game, I would beat you. Okay, so, but that's how you play. What are some other things I might have missed? Let's see. You're going to have a lot of smaller questions, especially when it comes to the abilities. Go on our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel has a lot of information on there, especially on the smaller questions that might be coming from cards. We have a great contest called the Stump the Creator. And yes, if Ethan was able to play this, he'd probably stump me because he has just that mind for stumping. But if you send us a question and we answer it on video, which we answer all of our Stump the Creator questions, and you stump me, you get a prize. If it's a really good question, you nearly stump me, I'll get you an honorable mention. Now these are questions about the rules, about the cards, not about what's your favorite card, or which card does this. I'm like, I have over 1,000 cards. I cannot remember which card does a certain thing. But if you play on the rules, or you give us questions on the rules or the cards, and they're really good, we'll give you a prize. Okay, anything else that you can think of that we have not covered? Okay, again, you might have questions. Please send them to me at historicalconquest@gmail.com, and I think we have one.
Armies.
Okay, so armies are not character cards. They are armies, which means some of the cards will say discard a character. Well, that's not an army. An army does not count towards the characters, but they do act like the characters. If you're taking an explorer over to another land, you can take one army or one character. It's just one card with it to another land. What other parts about armies were you thinking?
Only one.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good point. And you could only have one army per land. Now, that brings up another part. In each land, you can only have 4 cards in it. You can have 4 cards, which can be all characters, or you can have 3 characters in one land. Now, here's another thing. There are a few cards that actually tell you can have 5 cards. I think it's like Russia and China that allow you to have only one army, but up to 5 cards in it. Now, another card, Ethan was just pointing out, Winston Churchill. This one says, a second army card may permanently defend the land he occupies. So as long as he's in the land, he can have 2 armies in that land. So Winston Churchill is a great one to have.
Technically speaking, it says permanently.
It does say permanently, while he occupies the land, though.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So if he gets discarded, I think it's might have been one of the two I actually caught before. If he's discarded, so does one of the armies. It does not say that they get to move to another land. So if he's going to die, you might want to move that other army to another land. Other thing to know, let's go to the transports. Okay, so every turn there's allowed to be three cards played from your hand. Then after you're done with that, as soon as you declare an attack, you can't play any more cards unless it's an interrupt. As soon as you declare an attack, your cards are done, they're permanently placed, except for the interrupt. Now, then you're allowed to play, you're allowed to attack twice. So 2 attacks. I can attack him once, attack him twice, then you're done. One other thing is allowed, it's the 3, 2, 1. 3 from the decks, 2 attacks, 2 attacks, 1 transport. So anytime during my turn, I could take an explorer and 1 other card and move it to another land. So I can move this to my other lands, or I can move it to my opponent's. Now, just to know, explorers, even if they transport, they can't transport to a new land and you grab a new land, unless it actually says it in their abilities. All explorers find 1 land. One other thing that's really good to note, their abilities. Abilities do not regenerate unless they're discarded and replayed. So say that Ethan steals my card and I steal it back from him. Well, when I get it back, I'm like, oh, well, I can play those abilities again. No, you can't. Not unless it goes to the discard pile and then is pulled back from the discard pile. Or it's put into your deck and then pulled back from your deck. If it's in play, it can't be regenerated. The abilities are used 1 time. It also means if you've already used your ability and you get a card that says you double an ability, if it's an immediate and you've already used the ability, you cannot double it because it's already been used. You have to wait for the next card that comes up that you want to use the abilities. I think that's about it, right? Sure. So thanks so much for joining us on this great tutorial demo. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please, again, email us at historicalconquest@gmail.com. And I might as well I give this to everyone. Email me, my business one. It's Zach, Z-A-C-K, @historicalconquest.com. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Take care. If you have any comments or questions, add them to the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, actually. Take care. Bye.